What we are actually going to cover today is about, especially from the Microsoft Dynamics ERP side, how we are going to leverage the ERP data into the Azure Synapse and Azure Analytics there, and then how well and what we can predict out of this data based on to the current time we have available today. With this one, I'll quickly start with a brief introduction. My name is Faisal Farid. I am the CEO and working as a solution architect at One Dynamics here based in Melbourne, Australia, with the overall 18 years of experience with the digital business application and also the AI transformation. I'm also a Microsoft Business Application MVP. I'm the founder of multiple Microsoft Dynamics user groups. Few of them are ANZ Dynamics 65 FinOps team and also the Pakistan user group. Originally, I'm from Pakistan. Here, been in the industry for almost 17, 18 years. Currently, for last 8 or 9, no, actually it's 10 years now. 10 years here in Australia. If you would like to connect, please scan this barcode and you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Let's get started. What has happened over the period of last few years, where we started with the Microsoft Dynamics 65. In today's talk, I'll be presenting and doing to some extent, a demo where we can say what is the BYOD. If we talk about from the left, this is where Microsoft started about BYOD. So BYOD is actually bring your own database. So just to be on the same page and having a clarity, the database behind Microsoft Dynamics 65 Finance and Operations application is SQL. So it's a SQL database, what Microsoft introduced a few years back. Guys, you can bring your own database, which is a second icon here. And then we will push data from SQL database, which is a Dynamics 65 database, to your own database. And from there, you can actually build your own Power BI reports. The whole idea of getting this data easily out of Dynamics 65 and or any ERP is you can get data into your Power BI or any analytical tool, which we'll see shortly how this transformation happened in the world of analytics from the Power BI to a Fabric. Going forward, then Microsoft introduced export to data lake, and that option didn't last for more than 2 years. What it was a service here. It brought the data into a Synapse link, and then it was a CSV file formats where we used to have a data into a CSV file formats into Azure storage account, and then someone from the data team is able to access this data right from the Microsoft Fabric and Power BI. There were few issues and disadvantages, performance impacts with respect to the export to data lake because the data was exporting into a CSV format. Microsoft introduced Azure Synapse Link with another wrapper or another layer on top of the export to data lake, where Microsoft introduced now we can provide you a data without going into so many hiccups, especially from the ERP side. When Microsoft initially introduced export to data lake, it was initially there were manual steps involved. You need to run some scripts and jobs to export data from Microsoft Dynamics ERP up until the Power BI reports there. Now, there were also many configurations involved, which we had to do into Dynamics 65 application to enable the change tracking, which is again an SQL concept, enable the change tracking right from the FinOps application, and then taking this to the Power BI reports. With the Synapse link, the process has actually streamlined, no manual interactions involved, no pre-configurations involved there. Microsoft actually has enabled the SQL change tracking by default into a Microsoft Dynamics 365 ERP application. Then we are standing now to a Microsoft link, which is a fabric now. On the right hand side, what we have documented and summarized what was the old way, then export to data lake, which is almost deprecated. Why I'm saying almost deprecated, Microsoft announced to deprecate this option end of October or maybe a first, which is today. It was supposed to be deprecated today. So that's why this slide says it's already deprecated. But Microsoft actually has extended the deprecated period up until end of March. So if you or your client are using export to data lake option, this is the best time to transit from export to data lake to a Azure Synapse link. And we at One Dynamics, we do have these capabilities to help our clients, to the customers, to get data from export to data lake to a Synapse link and also a Fabric. I'll show you a bit of a demo what our team has prepared. Then moving forward, we have a modern way, which is bring your own lake. So instead of bring your own database, now we are talking about you can bring your own lake here. And in the last but not the least, which is a link to Fabric, which is a future. It's a SaaS-based platform, which is called software as a service. So you can bring your softwares, and then Microsoft will provide you all the services there, and then you can mesh your data within the Fabric and then get the most out of it. That's the very high level introduction about or details about bring your own database, which was a legacy way of doing this one. The good thing here is it is not deprecated. It is still in the finance and operations application, and as we said, even it's an old way, but it is not deprecated. So bring your own database is still available within finance and operations. I'll shortly show you where exactly it resides within the finance and operations application. And by the way, I have been using a different terminologies for a same application. Sometimes you will hear me saying finance and operations. Sometimes you will hear me saying Microsoft Dynamics ERP. Sometimes it's all different terminologies of the same application. So over the period of last 1 or 2 years, maybe especially for last 4 or 5 years, Microsoft actually has changed the product names more frequently. And then we, as the seniors in the market, we are actually easy to pronounce the old name, the finance and operations. So you will hear me saying FNO or finance and operations. It's a one application at the end of the day. Now, from the bring BYOD, there is a concept called entities within the finance and operations, which is actually nothing but SQL views, combination of multiple tables. You could only export data entities, not the tables directly. Which means if you are building a new custom application, or your Power BI or your data team needs access to the tables, that could not be possible going with the BYOD approach. We as a Microsoft partner at One Dynamics, we also resonate what Microsoft recommendation is not going with BYOD at all. If you are starting your implementation, or if you are thinking to get data out of finance and operations application to your Power BI reporting, do not go with the BYOD, although it is still available, but it's not recommended anymore due to the known limitations there. Few of the limitations we have documented here. Composite data entities cannot be exported. Not going into the details of what is composite data entity, you can please always reach out to me or my team at One Dynamics, we are happy to provide more details. What are the limitations? What business can achieve and what businesses cannot achieve with the BYOD options there. Then the second option which we talked is that was a export to data lake, which is our slide says it's already deprecated, but just a correction here, it is not deprecated because, as I said, Microsoft announced to make this deprecated on 1st of November, which is which is today, but it is still available, or you can still transit from export to data lake to your Synapse link end of March. So upgrade options are available to Synapse link or to a link to a Fabric. It only export a CSV files, which is actually specifically for your FNO tables. And then, as I mentioned before, there is a manual or automated one step involved, which is like a CDM util. You actually have to play around with the CDM utils to transform that data from your finance and operations. As you can see from the left, FNO and database, it is going to export to data lake. Dataverse is going from a Synapse link to a database. It is a CSV files or a JSON format. Then you can actually have to use a CDM util to get this data from FNO up to your PaaS-based application. This is actually your PaaS-based application here. Now, eventually you have to get your data into a Power BI that is going to be your SaaS-based application. That's your modern way, which is your Synapse link. As you can see here, what exactly is happening here, your FNO, you can get your tables and entities. It's too small to read, apologies, but I can read it to you. It's written tables and entities here, which means you can export data from FNO using tables and entities to your Synapse link now. Dataverse was already there, where you can see even in the export to data lake option, Dataverse data could be exported using a Synapse link to a database. So this is just an enhancement from the finance and operations application side. And then getting the data here, you can have your data into a Parquet format and then a Delta format there. Then you can use the Synapse workspace on top of this database, and then you create your reports, Power BI reports there. So it's a modern way of handling the data. You can export data to your own storage account and integrate with Synapse, Microsoft Fabric, and other tools. So you can bring your own storage account in place there. Yeah, data always stays into your own storage account. And the most important thing, which we always refer to all customers, your region, your data region. So wherever your finance and operation application is deployed, yet your Dataverse has to be deployed in that same region, and your storage account, your Fabric must be in the same region, in the same data center. So that will give you a more confidence having a data into a same region and avoiding any kind of a security compliance requirements there. System configurations, it's always automates there. You just you update your data from the finance and operations side, it reflects back into your Synapse and the Power BI. It's a near real-time data. That is a very good statement to keep in the mind. It is still a near real-time data. It is not the real-time. It is near real-time. Every organization, every implementation, especially, and the volume of the data has a different definition of near real-time. If your data volume is low, you can get the data to be reflected into your Synapse and Power BI maybe within 30 seconds or 1 minute. But if your data volume is too big, it may take up to 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It depends. That is actually the UI it's going to be look like, where you will have your Dataverse here. You will have the CSV file formats. You will have all the data available there. That's again, this is a modern way. You can have a CSV file there, and from CSV files, your workspace and the Spark pool will automatically convert the CSV file to your Parquet format. Parquet format is a recommended option. CSV files are not recommended options, even from a partner side and also from the Microsoft side. We recommend going with the Spark pool is a best option as of now, where you will have a very decompressed size of your data, so you can index it, you can read your data fast. So Microsoft claim it is actually 6 times faster than reading data from a CSV file, and also it is a 6 times compressed size of the CSV file format. Mod Again, this is actually your workspace, and then within the workspace, as you can see, I'm just running some SQL scripts here, and then you are seeing the data. From here, this is your near real time. This is your Spark pool option here, and it maintains your asset transactions and time travel features there. Now I will pause it here. I will switch to my environments. It's too much talking about theoretical understanding. I would like to show you from the finance and operations side. And I also want to show you the beauty of these broader application and as a platform there, what exactly we are achieving and what's the future look like. This is the finance and operation application. And if you haven't seen this application before, this is the UI, how it looks like from the Microsoft Dynamics, the ERP application. If you can you can actually switch your applications there, your legal entities between the application. I'll quickly walk you through what we can do here with respect to the switching the legal entities. So that's the UI. You can have a multiple legal entities. So this is our internal legal entity. We have created our own business legal entity within the finance and operations. We can create all the business analytical performance planning, co-pilot, demand planning, everything. So as you can see, these are all the apps installed, and then we can further evaluate in the future. With respect to your, we call it a data management application here, where we have all the one. This is called a one workspace here within the ERP language. We have a same concept into Fabric, where you have a multiple workspaces. You can play around with your workspace, and within the workspace you can have your queries, your tables, your reports, everything. That's a similar concept. We have a quite similar concept, not exactly, but quite similar concept. We have a different workspaces within finance and operations, where you can actually explore the functionality, having all the functionality on your screen. This is this is a data management workspace. This is an option where you can go and create your own source name. You can say, I want to use my bring your own database, like which is a BYOD. I want to connect an external database here, which you actually has to create into an SQL somewhere in the cloud or somewhere on the premises. Ideally, it has to be on the cloud, not on the premises. But having said, you will have your own database sitting somewhere on the cloud, where exactly we want to have the database sitting into your Microsoft Azure. And then you can get the connection string, validate it, and that's done. What it has done, only this particular configuration, it has connected to your database, which is sitting somewhere in the cloud. So it's a simple process. You can validate it, and that's it. Once that is done, then you can start creating your data projects from the finance and operations, because there has to be some routine where you can actually publish your data. You can actually publish your, ideally, businesses publish their financial data, like GL data, to the BYOD as per the business requirements, where you can evaluate how many transactions have been posted into this month, what's the revenue looks like, what is my trial balance there, how the business is operating in the last 6 months, where we need to improve our pipeline with respect to the more suppliers onboarding, more demand forecasting there, everything. So you can get all the data from the finance and operations right into your database. Once you have your database, it is, and we need to run the processes overnight to push data from your finance and operations database to your own database overnight, or with a particular frequency, and then you will have the data available in your BYOD. So that's the first concept we talked through. Then we discuss about export to data lake. Will not go into more of the details of the export to data lake, since this is already going to be deprecated soon in the first quarter or end of the first quarter next year. But we are happy to chat through if you have any questions, and if you would like us to go through and guide you through how you can actually get your export to data lake to the Synapse and to the Fabric. With the finance and operations application, if we go to the system administration, license configuration. So this is important to understand with respect to the Synapse. These are the out-of-the-box configurations. With the application version I'm on, I think so I am on version 41 right now, is the SQL row version change tracking. This license is on by default. So if you have this one default here or automatically on, means if you are using a Synapse link, you don't need to make any change in the finance and operations. All you just need to go to your Power Platform environment, which is connected here. So if we go to the LCS and then go to the environment itself, you just need to connect to your environment with your Power Platform environment. So that's a prerequisite here. You don't need to install the dual write. Dual write is not required for your Synapse. All you just need to make sure your environment is connected, which is a Power Platform integration. That is my environment, which is connected to, and that's my environment here. Once we log into the environment, all you just have to create your profile. So with the profile, the concept here is actually a link, and then you just need to create a new profile. There is a limitation of creating the maximum 10 profiles as of now. As you can see, I have created multiple profiles for this demo, just to show you what it looks like. If I go quickly create a new profile here, is all it is asking me, I just need to, that's the important thing. Your environment is located in Australia East, Australia, that is important. If you will try to connect to your environment outside of this Australia East region, it will try to match the environment where your ERP environment is actually hosted. So that's there, Australia East. So you just need to make sure your Dataverse environment, yours as your storage account or resource group has to be in the same region. If you choose your subscription and then you choose your resource group here, you choose your storage account here, and what this option will does here is, since as you can see, I haven't selected a Synapse workspace here because I don't want to use the Synapse workspace for now. What's going to happen with this option, it will extract the data from your finance and operations, and it will actually create the CSV files only. What will happen if I'll show you this storage account? These are my couple of tables. If it comes up quickly. So these are my two tables here, customer group and the legal entities here. These are my FNO tables here. In one of the profile, you will see we can use a same profile for your Dataverse and also for your FinOps table. So this is my FNO tables again. If I'll show you another profile, this is my Dataverse table. And If I go back here and I will go to this my profile, I'll go to my manage tables. So I just want to show you how easy it is, like how the Microsoft is making the platform seamless, smooth, where you do not have to do any rocket science of things there. You just need to make sure you have the proper access onto your storage account. You have access to your Dataverse environment. You have access to your workspace, and you have access to your finance and operations environment. That's pretty much it. Only the access stuff here. You can see I have, it took me to the Dataverse. I can go to the advanced. I can reduce the time interval, which is actually how quickly the folder structure will change with the new data. It's 15 minutes. I put a 15 minutes for now. By default, Microsoft put the 60 minutes. It also depends on your implementation, how quickly you would like to do. Since I was working on this demo last night, a bit late, then I just wanted to have this data come through quickly within 15 minutes. uh, I have already selected two tables here. So as you can see, it says 2 of 0 selected. Once it will fill up all the tables, it also shows you how many tables are available. 3037 tables are available. Microsoft is actually extending this list of finance and operations tables available weekly basis, monthly basis. You need to keep an eye on this count yourself, how many tables are going to be available. If you do not find any table available, raise a support ticket with Microsoft, and or I would say reach out to Microsoft Viva group, which is specifically for Microsoft Synapse Link. It's there's a team available, Melinda, very helpful, very supportive. Always, there are many people there. You will find myself and my One Dynamics team there to support and answer quick questions there. So you can always reach out to us via Viva too. So these are the tables available here. If I will go and I'll say, okay, I want to just put one more table here. Actually, I'll not go with the FNO tables. I want to have one of the Dataverse table in this profile. So I can connect to let's say account, and it's just making sure I have required access. I'm meeting all the prerequisites there, and that's once this is done, it will actually start syncing the data from account to my storage account. While this is happening, I'll quickly duplicate my tab. I want to show you and also want to have a bit of a question answers session at the end of the presentation where uh, permits, and if you have any questions, please feel free to discuss and ask any questions there. So with respect to this Synapse profile, you can always ensure what is your resource group, which storage account is it. This is your file system, this is your Synapse workspace. If I quickly open this one, it will directly take me to the Synapse workspace there. You don't need to remember what was my Synapse workspace, what was my storage account. Everything is a one click linked to your profile. It will take you there. You can actually take your database here. That's your database directly into your workspace. If I'll just expand this one, that is your database here. And if we go to the tables, these are the tables, customer group, and these tables you can see here, customer group, customers, and the one which we just have initiated, which is acute. It will take maybe a couple of minutes, and or maybe sometime it takes an hour. It says around 329 customers have been synced from FNO, since this is a FNO table, directly into your Synapse workspace. So you can go and you can always ensure. I'm talking about customers 101. We go to the customer groups here. Multiple ways you can always choose. I can say, give me the top 100. So it's just executing the data, and now where exactly it is reading the data, it is actually getting the data right from your storage account using the all the metadata, and then converting data and giving your data here. So that's pretty much it's few clicks and you have your data right from your ERP via a Dataverse right into your Spark pool. You can query this data. Now from here, you can go to your Power BI reports. You can go to your Fabric. You create a one workspace here. And within this workspace, you said, I want to connect a report here. So you just go and say, I want to see the report. Since I created this report using my Power BI desktop version, it was easy for me and just use the Power BI report desktop version, which I think so I was installing also as part of the demo. Just few clicks here, connected to my workspace directly from the Power BI, drag and drop few tables, my customers, my contact. So what exactly I have done here is, if I will take you one more step here. Okay, so that's if we go to the environment. And in here, I can go to my Sales Hub. I just want to see my customer, my cases there. So that's the good thing. Even my career is most of like majority of my career is from the ERP side, but how quickly we can do things into the CRM and in the Dataverse, it's marvelous. I have spent couple of months just to see what exactly is happening in the Dataverse, and you can do the same. You can learn yourself getting the data out of your ERP from your CRM system, and eventually you have your finance and operations, you have your Dataverse, you have your Synapse Link storage account, and then uh, at the end of the day, you can utilize any tool. Right now, we are using the Power BI. You can make your own data warehouse in on the top of the data. If I quickly take you to the resource group site, these are all my storage accounts sitting here. This is my storage account and my containers here. You can directly connect to these storage account using any tool. You can get the SaaS URI, you can connect, and then from here, you just go to the Synapse. This is your workspace, my workspace here. I can create a data warehouse. I can use my Spark pools here. So it's huge. Coming back to my presentation to quickly talk through what we have discussed. So we have talked about the fabric, which we discussed. It's a one lake here. You are getting the data from multiple resources here. You can get the data from your open source. You can get the data from your Power BI, your data factory, your Dataverse. All the data you are dumping into a one lake, and then that's it. So I would like to thank all the sponsors and Microsoft, and also all the Microsoft and New Zealand Business Application team for giving us this opportunity and the present on this event. I have a few minutes left. If you have any questions you would like to discuss, ask, I'm here. Thank you.